Quiet Word.
This is Life Under the Laundry Pile. This is Copper.
This is Heather.
And
this is
episode 16.
16, yep. Chugging right along.
So it is Thanksgiving week.
Mm-hmm. It is. Turkey Day.
So hopefully everyone, I think pretty much everyone has this week off of school, right? I mean, generally there are some schools that still go 3 days a week, but...
You know, when we lived back home in Florida, there was a time in the past few years where we only had the 3 days off.
Right.
But I think maybe people have evolved more to the whole week off. I don't know. It's nice.
Growing up, we only had Thursday and Friday.
We did.
So,
right.
But then, this is nice. Like, we're just chugging along. We're clawing to Friday. So, we need...
Yeah.
We need this time.
Recharge.
Yeah,
I agree.
right.
I agree. And I love the week. And I don't know about you, but we're not actually going anywhere at all for the holidays. Either one this year. And I'm so flippin' excited. I can't even contain myself.
It gets so stressful when you have too much going on.
It does. And to pack up and drive 8 hours plus, because some trips it's longer because of the traffic.
Right.
For some reason, it just kind of puts a little tiny damper in your holidays.
Right.
This year, I'm not going anywhere. My mom is coming, and as you know...
I am more excited to finally meet your mom than any one person should be to meet someone else's mom.
That is so funny.
I'm excited to meet her. I hope she likes me. Please like me.
She will. And as an added bonus...
I'm so excited.
We're all going. I don't know if you guys remember or not, but my brother is part of Home Free, which is an a cappella group. They're a country a cappella group, but they're pretty popular.
They're very popular.
But we are going to see them play.
Yes, we are.
This coming weekend at in Nederland, Texas, which is kind of somewhere near Beaumont. I'm not real sure, but we're so excited.
We'll map quest it before we get in the
Yes,
van.
absolutely. So me, my mom, Copper, and my super sweet friend Joan, who you're going to love too, because she likes to cuss just like we all do. It'll be a nice ride. We're all going to go. So we're going to have so much fun. Yes. And we get to eat with them beforehand. Yeah. So all you Home Free fans can kind of be jelly about that. But we're gonna fangirl, so don't feel bad, because meeting people of any caliber when they're famous, you're just like, oh my gosh.
And not only, these guys, they do very well. They're super talented. I'm excited to listen to them, even though I'm not a huge country music fan, but I acknowledge their talent is huge. So
absolutely. No,
I'm really pumped.
It's all
and
vocal.
They seem like really fun people.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm excited to meet people that are from your life, because I like you.
I hope so. Thank you.
So I'm, to get to this point where, to see kind of where you come from will be exciting to me. So
yeah.
I may or may not have a list of questions for your brother and your mom.
You can ask my mom. My brother kind of tight-lipped. But my mom will spill the beans.
I'll be like, is there anything I should know that I can use against her?
Other than the fact that everyone calls me Tidbit. And now thanks to my friend Roger on Facebook, everybody knows my nickname.
I feel like Roger, every time he comments, I always seem to think he'd be a good source of information.
Oh my gosh.
We have the concert coming up on Saturday. Your mom's coming in town for Thanksgiving, which is really cool. I'm going to, my friend is having Friendsgiving, so...
Oh, okay, cool deal.
Yeah,
awesome.
So we're going to go over there and eat.
And I invited you to come, because we have good Southern food mixed with my in-laws' all organic kind of stuff. So
good for them.
It's really funny because Lloyd just, he hears the word sweet potato casserole, and I know you think it's too sweet.
He gets super excited.
He fangirls over sweet potato casserole. He's like, is your mom bringing? And so my mom, of course, says absolutely.
Right.
There's a no-brainer. I'm going to bring stuff to make sweet potato casserole. But so yeah, I remember one of the first few years we lived here, and I have really super sweet friends who live across the street from South Africa.
Uh-huh.
And so they came over back when my stepdad was still alive, and we had Thanksgiving. And I'm from the country, so we have just dishes and dishes and
yes,
dishes.
Yeah.
And they took a picture.
Everybody gets carbs. You know, it's like, yes, pass. I just did the
cornbread and rolls.
Just like throwing money at people. Like
money.
How many carbs do you need? All the carbs. Like
yes.
you don't just have mashed potatoes. You've got mashed potatoes. You've got stuffing. You've got rolls, you've got biscuits, cornbread
where I'm from, absolutely. But they were amazed at the amount of food, and it popped up on my feed last year because on my Facebook memories, and it was just really funny. So if it pops up again this year, I'll try to post it on our page or whatever. But I love Thanksgiving.
It's a good holiday for me too.
And I've already put my tree up and all my decorations. So
I know, I'm jealous.
I like you. You're there. You're getting there.
Yeah,
you are.
My problem is my stuff is up in the attic. I'm pretty sure like zombies live up there, so I have to wait until Moose is home to get the stuff down.
Well, I know you said you were concerned that your tree wasn't going to fit.
The tree's going to be too big for our particular house that we're in right now. I have a gorgeous tree, but it's huge.
Yeah.
It's very wide. It's not super tall, but it's very wide. So I'm going to have to get a skinny tree, which is not a big deal.
Okay.
But we've lived in this house for one Christmas, but last year I talked to my husband after 20 years. Well, it would have been last year was our 21st Christmas while living together. Okay. And it's the first time I've ever talked him into a real tree. I thought I would love it. And he's always been like, we'll burn the house down. And he'll be like, you'll forget to water it. And for years, we've had this conversation. And last year, he's like, fine, get the real tree. And I got it.
Be careful what you wish for.
Hated it.
Yeah.
You know what? I did forget to water it.
Yeah.
And there were needles everywhere. And it did not smell as cheery as I thought it was going to smell. Like a candle would have been...
It's such a mess to clean up. Oh, my God.
So I admitted defeat. I'm not,
Yeah.
It was not for me. So we'll go back to the fake tree this year and a nice scented candle.
Well, you want to hear something really funny? I showed you pictures. I literally swept up. We have had the same Christmas tree. Yeah. This was at my mom's school. She had it in the office. She had bought it from Kmart. I don't know if you remember Kmart.
I loved Kmart.
I think there's still Kmarts around. She had bought it for the school, and then it went to us after I want to say 9 years at the school, 5 years at the school. So we've had that tree, I think I told you, 15 years. The tree's been alive for 15 years, and every year it sheds more and more and more. But judging by the pile of needles yesterday, we got a good 10 years left.
Do you do a perfect tree or do you let the kids decorate it?
Some years, I don't know. I have a hard time with that one. I've had tree themes every year up until last year. One year I had a peacock. Dear God, I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. It was hideous. It really was. Right. To be honest. I thought it was attractive, but it wasn't. And then last year I decided I wanted the lumberjack, Logie kind of plaid theme. And that's kind of what I'm going again this year. That being said, I let all the ornaments go on the tree.
Okay.
Do I let the kids decorate our tree? Hells no. No. I'm that weird mom that does it.
I've lost all control of the tree. I don't even get my white lights anymore. I love white lights. Right. And everyone, even Matt's always been like, colored lights. And and I'm like, no, white. But this conversation, if you didn't know we were talking about trees, would be really, really bad and wrong. And not at all how I feel. But just within the last couple of years, I'll never forget the Christmas where I lost control was... the boys were really just babies, and Maggie's like, this tree sure would be prettier if we had colored lights on it. And she was so little and so cute and so full of Christmas spirit that I was like, son of a bitch. Everyone get your coats on. We're going to Target. This is it. This is about them, not me. So I dream of perfectly designed trees, but...
I think I've found a happy compromise. Yeah. I have the basis of the tree that I like with the pretty stuff, but then I
put the ornaments.
And I have to tell you, I don't know about you, but our tree is actually full. That's how many ornaments.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you have too many kids.
Yeah.
My tree, I don't have. I had to pack some away last year. So let's just say this year, some of those things might be going in the recycle.
Right.
Because the reality is, my tree is not big enough. My tree is probably a 6-foot tree. I mean, this year I've actually had to buy new feet for this tree. That's how long we've had this tree. And did you know you can buy new feet for these trees?
I did not know that. That's how sad that is, yeah.
Well, we bought the stand, and then we had to duct tape the legs.
Right.
And then I discovered at Walmart they sell the legs, so now we have new legs. But the topper now is actually shoved into that oasis that florists use to get it to stay in the top now because it no longer stays
It like wobbles.
Yeah, so don't come breathe on the tree.
I won't breathe on it.
But yeah, ours is a hodgepodge. I wanted to do a tree on the landing with just the kids' ornaments.
Oh, yeah.
And then the nice tree downstairs. But let's be honest, that's a damn lot of work.
Right.
That's 2 trees to put up.
Right.
No. If you could see my face.
You're really over your spirit by that point in time.
It took us like 3 hours. I swear it didn't, but that's what it felt like.
I used to do a couple different trees. Oddly enough, before we had kids.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of the ornaments that we've had all of our adult lives have now started working their way back in the box in exchange for like stuff that the kids make. So not all of them, but I've got a couple. Actually, our first ornaments came from the dollar store. Mm-hmm. So, which is kind of funny, and I still have some of them, yeah. And they're from our first Christmas. So.
Hey, and let me tell you, the Dollar Tree or the dollar store's game is pretty strong on those Christmas ornaments.
It wasn't so much then. I mean, they're ugly. They're ugly as hell. But I mean, like our first Christmas, we had only lived on our own for about a month, and so we did not have. And we were 18. We had no money.
Broke as a joke.
Right? Yeah. I mean, we thought we were rich, but we weren't. You know.
Why do I hear dollar bills, y'all?
Yeah. So, but I still have, they've broken over the years, but I have just a handful of them and they always go on the tree.
Yeah. So. That's awesome. So that being said, do you let the kids decorate?
Yeah, they have control over it.
Do you go back and move that shit after they go to bed?
Oh, yeah, totally.
Because if not, I have pictures and Paige. Yeah, there'd be a clump down here and a clump over here. Mm-hmm. Oh, my OCD just...
Nothing at the top because they can't reach up there. Yeah.
We had a chair last year and I let Paige. The year before she started kindergarten, so 2 years ago.
Yeah.
That just drives me nuts. The control freak in me just has a really hard time with that.
It's very hard for me to let it go, but I do it.
Ugh. Yeah.
So, the decorating. I want to get that started. I need to do that in the next day or two. So.
Yeah, get there. Yeah, I'm excited.
I'm not doing a ton of do you Black Friday shop?
Hell no. I did it once, and I would never do that again. Do you?
I used to. And I never really shopped a bunch, but I liked going out. It was exciting, and it was kind of, and especially when we first moved down here, and I would go up to my sister's house in Dallas, and we would go out at midnight and shop,
okay.
You know. But honestly, I do a lot of my shopping online now. As I get a little bit older, I don't enjoy the crowd as much. It used to be that stepping off point for me. Like that was the beginning. And everything I buy is on Amazon now. And this Christmas is not going to be as big just because we're finding that we don't need as much this year. So we're still in works of figuring out how exactly we're going to celebrate. But I don't think it's going to be with mountains of gifts under the tree.
I agree.
So,
I agree.
But no, I don't intend on doing it unless I see something I absolutely have to. No. We're going to stay at home and wear pajamas and decorate the tree and eat a bunch of leftovers and just be happy together.
But you know,
and watch Elf.
Yeah. You know what's really funny though? Most companies now do their Black Friday online as well.
Yeah.
And I think that's brilliant because there are people who can't or don't leave their home, and it allows them to cash in on those sales.
Right.
And why not? You're tapping into a whole other group of people who normally would not be caught dead venturing out. I did it 1 year, and the only reason I did it was because we lived in Gulf Breeze, we lived in Florida, and the Walmart across the street from us was a tourist Walmart.
Right.
So December, nobody goes. It was just us locals. And my sister-in-law and I literally got up at like 7:30 and went and got Black Friday sales. Mm-hmm. I mean, there were still piles and piles of them because who's Black Friday shopping at a Walmart?
In a tourist town.
In a tourist town.
Right.
Not many.
Mm-mm.
And that was the only year I ever did it. That was it. I refuse. $5 fleece pajamas are not worth me getting trampled and getting up at 2 a.m.
Now, that being said, like, I've never encountered the craziness. Like, I mean, crowded, yes, but, you know, we would drive up on a place, and if it was absolutely beyond, you know, we're like, forget it. I'm not doing that, you know. But it was more of a activity for us versus we have to get all this stuff.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like,
yeah.
we run through Starbucks and get hot chocolate and hit all these stores and then eat at breakfast and then crash, you know.
Yeah.
So it was just that nice stepping up. But we're not, you know, I'm being down here by myself. I'm not going to get up, and I'm sure as shit not going to take the kids. And like I said, we're just not going to.
No.
Our Christmas is going to be a little bit different this year. So
Ours too. We were talking about that earlier. Yeah. Instead of, you know, like we were saying, instead of those 4, I don't know if you're all familiar, but there's something that floats around. It's what you need.
What you want, what you'll read, what you'll wear.
Yes. But I found one the other day that was 7, and that kind of just took it a little further, which I think is actually more realistic.
Right.
It was 7 options, and I think that's what I'm going to do this year, because you're right.
You'll have to send that to me. I'm interested to see.
My kids, I can put the link on our okay. I can also put it on our Facebook page as well, but it was a
because I'm not going to be a Grinch and not have any Christmas whatsoever, but
yeah.
Just full disclosure, we're more or less planning maybe more of a trip so we can work on memories versus materialistic items in the house, just because we have so much already.
Yeah. No, I'm the same way. Hell, I get rid of stuff every week to Purple Heart, and
right.
My kids, the reality is my kids are older and they're more into electronics. Not
right.
not that that's, you know, perfect. I'm not, but I'm very real and honest, and my kids do mess with electronics. So
I think as they get older, they want less too. Like, I mean, I just don't break the. I don't think Moose can fix that chair again.
That would fall on the floor.
And we won't be able to blame him this time because he's 1,000 miles away.
It's because they turn.
They do turn.
I hate that. Ours do
hate that
too.
chair.
The tablet was one of their big
right.
things, because back over the summer, Amazon had their Kindle for
right.
like $33. How can you say no to that?
Now you need to remember not to let them listen to this episode.
They don't ever listen to me. In real life or podcast. Let's just be honest.
That's not true. You have great kids. They listen. They're good kids.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, next.
So since we're talking about the holidays and everything, before it comes up, just a reminder, we talked about it in last week's episode. We are working on a big episode for December. These are a few of our favorite things that kind of play off the song. A little bit of Oprah going on here.
That's
with
right.
you get a, but we're not actually going to give you anything.
We just want to know.
We're going to give you the joy of us talking about it, but we want to hear from you what the holidays, what are your favorite things, and not just like materialistic stuff that you can hold in your hand.
Yeah, do you have a tradition?
What's your favorite tradition? What's your favorite food? What's your favorite stress reliever? You know,
yep. Anything. These are a few of your favorite things. Yeah, I mean. Yeah, anything. So let us know, and you can hashtag it if you want. It's a good time of year
to, kind of be like, this is what I'm grateful for. This is what my favorite things in life are. So we want to hear from you on what that is. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So let us know. And just a really quick reminder: you can always find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, and we have a website.
Yeah.
So yeah. That's the obligatory social media.
And we even, if you really can't message us on any of those, you can also email us at Laundry pail? Gross. Good Lord.
That was a few years back.
Life under the laundry pile at gmail.com.
Yes. So hit us up.
Yes.
Hit us up. So what are we talking about this week?
This is a little bit of a sensitive issue, and I'm going to start this off before anybody gets butthurt. We are not comparing ourselves to anybody else. Anybody else, okay? We're not comparing ourselves to single parents. We're not comparing ourselves to parents that work outside of the home. We're talking about our lives and our difficulties. It is not saying that we have it harder than anybody else.
We are essentially, the title was going to be Married Single Mom, but it's essentially, are you a one-woman show? How you handle traveling husbands.
Right.
Because there are a lot of us, there are military women.
Law enforcement, construction. Both of our husbands what category do they fall under? Because I'm listing all of these things that they fall. I got military.
There are 3 categories according to studies. And do you want to hear what they are?
I hadn't heard of that middle one until you wrote that. And I read a bunch of stuff too. I love it. I mean, I don't love it. I'm like, I'm really sorry. But
we both did our research, obviously.
Right.
And we read some articles. But the married single mom topic, or header, falls down to 3 groups. Those of us with military spouses. One spouse travels like we have. And then the third group is one spouse in the house. And I don't mean the house, I mean the big house, the jail.
Like 3 hots and a cot.
So one spouse is in jail.
Yeah.
So those are the segments of the population who consider themselves a married single mom.
I had never even thought of that particular category. I had not even thought of that.
I hadn't either.
I will say this, and this is going to right off the bat, I will put this little asterisk next to them because the one thing that they are probably more concerned about than, and not that we have our own concerns in this category, is does everybody on this planet, that when it's one spouse in jail, the financial aspect of it.
Right. Yeah,
So you have that concern of, at least when you have a military spouse or a spouse that travels for work, financially there are at least some needs being met.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
You know, certain ones like military, they could certainly be paid a lot more than they are. But
yeah,
there are needs being met versus when you have a spouse in jail, they still have to concern themselves with making a living.
Right. So that's enough with the disclaimers.
Right. Did you have some more? Anybody. You have some interesting numbers there.
Yeah. Did you see these numbers?
I did not see those numbers.
Okay. So 24% of working moms that are married feel like a married single mom. 24% of working moms still feel like it, and then 28%, which I thought would be higher, 28% of stay-at-home moms feel like a married single mom. So these percentages are kind of small, to be honest.
Right.
So
I did read that the trend of traveling for work, and I not to belittle people, this topic, and this is, if you feel this way, then, you know, power to you. I'm there for you. My compassion for you is the same. This isn't necessarily the household where the spouse does work like 10 to 12 hours a day. If they're coming home on a daily basis.
Right.
This isn't necessarily what we're talking about. And again, this is not to compare the two. These are the people that literally day in and day out, there is one sole provider of meeting the needs of the household.
Right.
There's nobody that comes home at dinner time and washes the kids while you clean the dishes, or even is there after the kids go to bed to converse with you, which we'll get into that because that's the one area where I sometimes feel I struggle with, is not having that companionship. But we're going to move down the line to that, so we won't talk about it right now.
Yeah. So.
But that number is interesting because I would have thought, but I did, like I read, that there is a definite increase in people career-wise that travel for a living.
Yeah. Well.
And so we're not as rare as I think sometimes we feel we are.
Right.
As secluded as we are.
Right.
And, you know, sometimes you feel like you're on your own and you're not really.
That being said, how many of your friends have spouses that travel for work?
Not including you?
Yeah. None.
No, I do.
None?
Nearby, I have, off the top of my head, and I truly apologize, there's Melissa, and then my friend Jenny, her husband travels, I don't have a percentage, but he does travel as well, so.
I think you're the only one I know.
Yeah. And I know, I have a friend back in Ohio that her husband travels literally all the time. I mean, he goes months before he comes home.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So, she's a very strong woman. And they have a lot of babies. Cute babies.
But I don't know how. He's never home.
I know. Every time she has another child, I'm like, oh, he must have been home. Yay. But, I mean, they rock it just as we all do.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, and, you know, unfortunately, I have to tell you that there's a group of women who get angry that people use the term married single mom. And it's single moms who get
I think offended. Everybody, yes, and there is definitely online, there's a definite pushback from that. And the thing is I think someone's always going to get angry at you.
Yes.
And because everyone goes on the defensive. And the thing is I'm not.
No, we're all in this together, and people don't realize that.
I'm not comparing myself to anybody.
No.
My story is my own.
Is.
Right. And me saying this is hard is not a comparison to my life is harder than yours. I'm saying my life is hard.
Right.
And it's not fair to say, girl, you got it too easy. Everyone has a right to their life and their feelings.
And you know what I like?
Does that make sense?
Yeah, and you know what I like in this argument too? Not argument, but this
Thought
source
process.
the source of contention too. The working mom versus the stay-at-home mom. It's kind of the same thing.
And we've touched on this before. The comparing ourselves to, we have to stop.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And I'll be the first one to tell you, I don't know how the hell working moms do it all.
Right.
I can't do it all on a daily basis, and I'm home to do it all. So you talk about throwing a full-time job on top of doing everything that we have to do. Oh my God, kudos to you, because I could never do it.
I will say this: I did work for a while, and actually, I've held multiple jobs outside the home.
I have before kids,
but I have since having kids, and I'm not going to use the term I was happier when I was working outside the home, because that's not the case. Mm-hmm. I'm in a very happy place right now, and I don't even want to use easier when I was working outside the home, but it was very doable. Mm-hmm. I think no matter what you do, there's going to be winning situations and losing situations. Right. You're always going to feel like you're missing out somewhere, no matter what.
I just know for me personally, I couldn't do it. It's too stressful to me.
Right.
I'm not that kind of person. I have to be all in or nothing.
Right.
I think that I'm the kind of person, if I start spreading myself too thin, everything falls apart.
Right.
And like I said, so I don't know how people do it. But I think that people, it goes back to that argument that I'm on this side, you're on that side kind of thing. And that's not it at all. We're literally a part of the population where the husband or the spouse travels, and, we're at home, picking up all of the slack.
Right.
We do have that benefit of having the spouse that comes home at times.
Right.
But that being said, not all of them contribute. I love my husband, but, he's so tired from traveling. He's home a lot of times one day.
Right.
And whether it be that I feel guilty asking him to help, or the fact that he is busy doing his receipts for, to get reimbursed and, doing the things that he wants to do, the fact is, I don't have that help. And that's fine. I'm totally okay with that. I would never be, angry or anything like that. That's just the way I like it, personally. Right. That's the control freak in me. I am happy to do it all,
Right.
So, but yeah.
That, I think that our husbands are gone a fairly similar amount of time. The difference being is when Matt comes home, he does tend to throw himself into taking care of as much as he can.
Right.
Matt holds a lot of guilt about being gone all the time.
Right.
So I think that he tries to, even when he is home for 19 hours, he fits as much as he can into that 19 hours.
And I've
noticed.
To
the point that I have to remind him sometimes, I'm like, when are you getting your own time? Like, when you come home, and it's constant, like he is making sure. I will, full disclosure, and I'm not bragging, and I'm not. When Matt is home, that man will get up with the kids every single day and get them ready for school.
That's crazy. Yeah.
And it's not me saying you have to do it. Like, I'll wake, because he'll get up before I'm awake and make sure that the door is shut and they're at the other end of the house getting ready for school, and so that I'm not bothering. I'll wake up and they'll be walking out the door, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you know. But and I think sometimes that's because he feels a ton of guilt.
Yeah.
About
and I've noticed that now that Lloyd travels so much, like I said, being home that one day, I've noticed he does more things with the kids.
Right.
He doesn't do the household things, but he plays with the kids. He spends time with them. So, which is fine. I
think that's all you can ask for sometimes. I mean, there's only so much time that they're home. You can't expect them to do.
Well, I'll be honest. I don't.
You don't want him touching your stuff anymore.
Yeah, I prefer doing it myself. Because once he gets involved with cleaning, because that that's what his company does, then he starts to get nitpicky.
Right.
Talking about high dust and all this bullshit. I'm like, what even is high dust? Well, since he works at hospitals, I now know what high dust is.
Right.
So, but yeah. So I don't know. I found an article that actually shows the perks of being.
Yeah.
Have you seen that one?
There's a couple of the things that you love, because again, it falls under that. There's no matter what your situation is, there's pros and cons.
There are.
There are pros and cons. Nobody is in a losing situation and no one is in a winning situation. No. There's going to be negatives and positives to everything you do.
Will you have a ton of positives every situation? No, but you will find there is always a silver lining to
and
most
there definitely is a silver lining to the married single mom title.
I agree.
So share with me.
Yeah, you probably saw it, but one of them was when the kids go to bed, you can veg out and watch whatever you want without having to worry about.
I'm super guilty.
Let me watch football. Right.
Let me like I have to clean up because this is what I'm like what sometimes I do generally I like a clean kitchen when I go to bed, but there are times where I can't wash.
Oh, there's dishes always in my sink at night when I go to bed, and there's no shame in my game.
And it's not even like Lloyd and Moose. I can't speak for everyone's husbands. Would certainly never be like, I cannot believe you're going to bed without washing those dishes.
But I'm sure there are husbands.
I know husbands that are like that. Yeah. It's like then wash the damn dishes.
And wash the dishes yourself.
Right. Yeah. But our husbands are not like that. No. Not to brag, but they're awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I love when my kids go to bed. That is my time. I sit there on my ass and I watch what I want to watch. Yeah. And I eat what I want to watch. Which actually is one of the other funny things.
Is not having to cook huge.
You don't have to cook huge meals.
Right.
And if you want to sit there and eat a tub of ice cream, you can. You don't have to share it with anybody.
Right.
So that is one of the really nice things. Let's see, what was one of the other ones? You don't even bother with the phrase, wait till your father gets home, because by the time he gets home, you've already forgotten what the hell went on.
Punishment time
that is the story of my life, because I can't tell you how many times I look at my teenager and tell her, oh, you just wait. Oh, I'm wait till Daddy gets home, and knowing full and well that by the time he gets
home for 5 days, it's
not gonna be right. She's like, yeah, ha ha ha. In her head, she's thinking, you're not gonna remember this.
Even if you do remember, it's 5 days from now. What are you gonna do about it?
I know,
it's like a puppy. You can't spank their butt for.
I do immediately get on the phone and text or message. And I'm like, this is what happened, and he's like, really? Jesus, seriously? So that's what I get, but after a long day of entertaining and taking care of kids, Chuck E. Cheese for dinner actually sounds good.
Right.
I don't know on what planet that's ever possible.
Maybe not Chuck E. Cheese. No, Chuck E. Cheese never sounds good to me. I will avoid it. And I love you all, but like if you're...
That place is where the devil goes to live.
Right, and I just don't. But I mean, like I can easily be talked, and you laugh at me about this, but I can so easily be talked into... I could eat it like Chick-fil-A 3 times a week because it's just you're so tired after all day. And there's not that pressure to,
right?
I don't
perform?
have to cook dinner. Yeah, like just go through the drive-thru and get.
There's no pressure for you to perform.
That would be pro number 4.
Yes, I have to agree. Let's see what one of the other ones. Well, this was not a pro. This was a con. Sort of. You don't even flinch when something breaks, even though you're the one that's going to have to fix it.
Right.
And that does happen to me quite often.
Yeah.
If something breaks, I get pissed, I text him, and then I realize I'll fix it myself. And 9 times out of 10, I can. There are occasions, like our disposal just broke, and I said, to hell with it. Let's just replace it with a regular drain. I don't want to fool with it again. And I did have to enlist my father-in-law, but otherwise, I fix it myself.
Right.
But... The funniest comment, though, I have to tell you before we go any further, one of the people said, my room, my bed, under the covers, it all smells good until my husband gets home.
Yeah.
Amen, sister. It took me a second after I read it to realize what she meant. But no farty man farts.
No farty man farts. I agree. Yeah, I did. I saw that quote
too.
So we must have read like exactly the same stuff.
Well, there's a ton of them.
Yeah.
And I just went through the first ones, but I thought that was really funny because, I get that. I totally get that. That being said, I do smell my husband's clothes, like if they're hanging up in the closet, and it is nice every once in a while. I'll say, oh, it smells like him. It's a weird smell.
Ultimately, you do miss him, right? Which is, again, the funny thing is, like, sometimes. Stop. And I just talked to someone else about this the other day. I'm like, it's sort of ironic that my husband is gone as much as, I think his travel percentage is runs at about 90%. Yeah. So, sometimes more. I pause for a minute just so you all know he's supposed to come home tonight.
Why does he even bother telling you?
Right. I'm not really sure why so I got a call this morning from him that said,
Haha, joke's on you.
"Joke's on you. I'll be back next week." So he is, and this is where you guys then now know that we're recording this the Monday before Thanksgiving break, I guess. So I'm letting you in on the
Yeah.
you guys know that we don't always record these, rightfully.
We do 2 at a time.
Right. But yeah, so he was supposed to come home today and then be home until the Monday after Thanksgiving, but now he is going to try to be home next Monday, which is the first technical day of break, and then definitely by Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Was the words that came out of his mouth. So, which it is what it is. The business that he's in, if things aren't going right, his job's not done and he needs to stay until it's done. And that's also his personality, and I don't hold that against him.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's the same way.
right.
So, yeah,
I
get it.
They're both very hard working men who take a lot of pride in their work.
And I definitely respect that. Like, I don't know that I would be that hardworking. I'm going to be honest with you. But I guess that's the mom in me.
Right.
I'm like, no, I've got kids. I got to get home.
Right. Which in the conversation we had this morning, because he called me, he's like, look, this is what's going on. What do you think? And I mean, there's the huge part of me that wants to say, no, come home.
Yeah, right.
We had things planned that are now going to be altered because he's not going to be here. However, this is his job.
It is what it is. Yes, absolutely. And he has a job. So
right.
I get that. We're all very grateful.
And I love him for working as hard as he does. But the irony is we like our husbands and they're gone all the time.
But
maybe that's why we like them as much as we do. Like when he does
exactly.
come home, I'm extremely grateful, and I like spending time with him, and I like talking. He's the biggest idiot on this planet. He is one of the most intelligent people on this planet, but he is a dork.
Yeah.
So, but I like it.
Yeah. Right.
Even when his jokes aren't funny, I still like them. And I like having him around. Mm-hmm. But maybe I'm a little bit more grateful for that because he's not around as much.
No, I totally agree with that comment. Like, I absolutely. Absence absolutely does make the heart grow fonder, no matter what your situation is.
Right.
Whether it be time, space. So, yeah, I get that.
So that being said, one of the cons is the fact that missing out on adult companionship. Okay. And that's not, we're not talking.
Having another adult to talk to.
Right.
Yeah.
So when the day is done, there's nobody to tell about my day. Even just the difference between face-to-face versus texting or... it's very rare for us to even talk on the phone during the week. I think we've talked more on the phone this week than we ever do. Yeah. For one thing, during the day, when he's on site, there's no signal. He's not sitting in a city somewhere. He's out in the middle of BFE at a wind farm.
I have not heard that term in a very long time.
He's nowhere near somewhere where he can have a signal. So we very rarely talk during the day. And then by the time nighttime comes around, I'm just not a big phone talker anyway.
Yeah, me neither.
So
I'm not either.
We'll text back and forth and everything, but it's different than that face-to-face,
Yeah, no, I get it.
Companionship. So
it is. And earlier I think you might have meant to start this comment, but
I probably did. I get sidetracked a lot.
I think that it sucks sometimes when if you have an issue with the kids.
Right.
And you don't have that other half to tell or to bounce off of when something happens.
You figured, whether it be the kids or the car or the house, you don't have that second person to bounce those concepts.
Right.
And so that goes for a lot of people, not just people in our category, but it's when you have to figure out everything on your own. And as far as the house goes, I am very lucky to the extent that we do rent. So when there is a problem with the house, I have a lovely landlord who is extremely fast in coming over here and making sure things are taken care of for me. Right. Whether he's a super responsible man or he knows that Moose is not here and he wants to make sure that our needs are met.
Right.
He's very diligent. Not that anything happens very often, but not this van, but the van before, we always had a lot of problems with it and it just would never fail. Yeah. It would happen 2 days into a 6-week trip for Matt, never would fail. Right. 2 days in, he's in Europe somewhere, and the freaking van breaks down. Yeah, right. Not even in the driveway, just somewhere random, So then you have to figure it out.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but I think you're definitely better for it. Yeah. I think you learn a lot of life skills and a lot of life lessons that you wouldn't normally learn. Right. So, but yeah, it works for us. It's kind of new for us because he's just started really, really traveling. What, maybe 6-9 months ago? I don't know how long he's been traveling. Maybe 6-9 months ago.
It was not long after we met.
Okay, so it's
Yeah.
been about 6 to 9 months.
Yeah.
But we just met in August. Did you know that? Our friendiversary on Facebook popped up back in August.
Did it really?
And I thought, oh, that's really funny. Yeah.
How much we've accomplished since then.
I know. Amazing. So.
He was military. Was that before you guys were married?
Yeah, he was in the reserves, in the
Okay.
Marine Reserves.
Okay.
But he was also still in the reserves for about 2 years into our marriage.
Okay, so you had that time away from each other.
Yeah, he
too,
would go,
right?
but let's be honest, he went like 1 weekend a month.
Oh, okay. But
And at that point, I was still partying hard, so I didn't really care. It was like a bonus.
Right.
So, yeah. But it works for us, and I
Right.
kind of like it. Actually, I have to tell you, one of the biggest pros for us is it saves on our grocery bill.
Yeah, us too.
It really does, because before I would spend, oh my God, I don't even want to tell you, a lot of money on groceries every week because I was cooking, almost 3 meals a day.
Right.
And big meals with meat at night. And now, hell, I could open a box of macaroni and cheese and give them a hot dog and call it a meal.
Right.
Or not even give them the hot dog, that's 2 meals. That's a hot dog one night and mac and cheese the other night.
Mac and cheese and a cup of yogurt is a very traditional meal in this house. So,
See, there you go. You got
yeah.
3 meals now.
Yeah.
You got the mac and cheese, you got the yogurt, and then you got the hot dogs. Let's be realistic. They're kids. They don't need a lot.
Right.
But yeah, I think it's taken a lot of stress financially as far as the grocery bill.
Right.
And as
Off
far
of
as
the-
making
right.
the meals every night.
Right.
Oh, 'cause
I think it's a hard position, but it's not, and I often, it's very rare for me to be discredited for my role
Right.
here. Pardon me. More often than not, people are like, I don't know how you do it. I do get a comment every once in a while, and this is off topic, but a handful of times I've mentioned Matt, and I've had people look at me and they just kind of blank, and I'm like, is everything okay? And they're like,
You have a husband?
no, they're like, I can't remember who it was last year, but it was someone at the school. She's like, I just assumed you were divorced.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh, no, he's around. We like him a lot.
Oh,
Yeah.
that is so fun. Well, my husband rarely goes to the school functions because
Right,
he's never here.
right.
So, yeah, I get that. I always wonder what people think
Well,
when
you
they
remember-
finally see him.
You remember Meet the Teacher, and I was so excited because Matt was
Right.
actually able to, it's like, oh my
And he
gosh,
wasn't.
like he's never...
Yeah.
No, he wasn't at
He
Meet the
wasn't,
Teacher.
'cause we had to drag poor Henry
his
around.
plans changed.
We had to drag poor Henry
He was
around.
there for the first day, but he missed Meet the Teacher because his plans changed at the last
Don't you
minute.
remember? Poor
Yes.
you were about to throttle poor Henry because he wanted the...
No, here's
The
why
tablet
I
or the
completely
phone?
forgot, because I there's that where you
blanked out.
You blanked out on the horrible things in your life, and that's like in the top 10 of miserable freaking moments. Yeah. So, but I honestly, I do get a lot of mad respect from people for it, and it's not, we all do what we can do.
And it's the hashtag your mileage may vary. If you've ever seen the hashtag
love that.
YMMV, it means your mileage may vary.
Right.
And you're exactly right. We're not, everybody's story is different. We're just telling you ours.
Right.
And that certain little percentage of the population that it happens to. So, yeah, absolutely. But,
Very true.
very true.
What else do you want to talk about?
I don't know, girlfriend. I think that's probably it for the week.
That probably is. So,
You guys,
So I hope you got something from that, a little peek into our life. It's just mostly I think we talked on pros and cons. It was a little unorganized, but we rambled a little bit about it. But ultimately, I think we're both fairly happy.
but you say that, and I don't mean to change the subject. I had
Change
a couple
it,
of
please.
people who tell me recently they love listening to us because it sounds like listening to two friends have a conversation. And I think that that's part of what works for us,
Right.
because we do go off on a subject or a tangent, and then we come back. Or we might not come back, who knows. And then we continue to talk. And so I thought that was a really nice compliment.
Right.
I've heard that several times by strangers and by actual, people that I know. So I think
Right.
that's a really great compliment, that we actually sound like people sitting, like you're sitting in the room with us while we have a chat. So
Chat.
I think that's great.
I
But
agree.
I guess that's it for this week,
All
yeah?
right.
And
Yes.
Thanksgiving, so...
So, eat lots of whatever it is you want to eat at Thanksgiving.
And don't not eat it. As Irma Bombeck says, light the candle, eat the food. wear
Dude,
the
it's
perfume.
Thanksgiving. Calories they don't count. Carbs don't count.
That's
Just go
right.
to town.
That's right. And if
Go
you
to
don't,
town.
you'll regret it.
Right.
If you do, you might regret it, but hey, who cares?
Have fun with the people that you love and love the people that you're with.
Yep.
Have a good time.
Who are you, James Taylor, all of a sudden?
I don't
That
know.
is not
any of-
James Taylor.
I don't know any of his
He's
songs.
one of my true confessions. I love James Taylor.
I'm sure.
Shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Yeah. I'll have to link you guys up.
Then yes, I do love him. I like that song. So
love
yes.
me some James Taylor.
And he does the "You Got a Friend in Me," right?
That's right.
Yeah. So yeah, I do like him.
And not talking about the Toy Story version either.
No.
So yeah, you guys have a good Turkey Day.
Have a good Turkey Day. We will too. We'll try to take some pictures and fill you in on that.
And the concert that we're going to as well. We will take a selfie, and we will.
Can we bring my selfie stick?
Oh my God! Okay.
Okay. Not the weird one we take videos with. Just the stick thingy.
That's even worse. It's even worse than the alien legged thing that you use. I feel like a Japanese tourist if you use a selfie stick.
You know the funny thing about me owning that stick is the fact that I've always been very, like, from our time in Florida and Disney, and like every time someone would pull one of those sticks out, I'd want to punch them in their baby maker.
Yeah.
And then now I actually own one.
Yeah, you do.
I don't use it very often.
mortifying.
And I technically, I didn't buy that. I won it.
No, you filled out some. You sat there and you did something to get it.
I'm like, I'll get a free one.
She took a picture of herself and posted it on Instagram.
To get a free
and
selfie
hashtags.
stick.
To get a free damn selfie stick that I could have bought it for $5 at Walmart. Let's just be honest.
And it was free. You are ragging on me for saving money?
You sold your soul to the devil for that damn $5 selfie stick.
It's a piece of shit, too. It doesn't even work half the time. Like, literally, the little cord doesn't work, so when I use it, I have to yell, shoot, to take the picture. So,
yeah.
what were we talking about? Oh, yeah, we were leaving. So, have a great week. Enjoy yourselves. Please let us know if anything funny happens and we can share it.
Yep.
Don't forget to check us out. Heather is at One Fed Up Mommy. You can find her at all the social media sites and her website, which is onefedupmommy.com. I am Never Drink from Mommy's Cup. .com, and I'm also at all the social media sites as well.
Yep. And if you ever want to leave us some love on iTunes or Stitcher, comment, hit the stars, all that good jazz.
Yeah, we talked about this in the last episode. The momentum is picking up, and we really need your help to keep it going. So share us, leave reviews. Reviews are very important. Mm-hmm. We know you're busy, but if you love us, let us know.
That's right.
Okay. I think that's it.
That is it.
All right.
Have a good Turkey Day.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Gobble, gobble.